Happy to see you come aboard. Welcome to Go with the Flow, a podcast where I talk about anything and everything, whether it's my experience as a teacher, give my opinions on my favorite TV shows, movies, and of course, it just whatever you need, advice, life lessons, I got it for you. Let's go on and start the show. All right. Hey, everyone. This is Miss Flo, and you are listening to Go with the Flow, a podcast where, as I just said earlier, I talk about anything and everything, whether it's my experience as a high school digital media teacher or just a fan of pop culture. And we are now on part three of my review of 2022. There just was so much to cover, and it had to be broken down into three parts. But this will be the final episode of Go with the Flow for 2022. It's been an amazing journey, just starting my publication this year under Noir Vibes, and we can only go up from here. If you are joining us, please share the stream. We're trying to get as many of my audience members in the live stream so that I can communicate with you in real time. That was the whole point of this extra production. But I'm excited to just get started and really do this. So uh, but for my tonight's guest, it's nighttime. Uh, my guests are Naya and Ziggy. Both are my former students, and I am so glad that they're able to join me this evening. If you guys could go ahead and say hi to the audience.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be back. Hello, hello. Hi.
I appreciate the support from my fans and my listeners. Again, it's been a very unique journey uh, creating this publication on my own, but with the assistance, whether it's by former students, current friends. Again, thank you all for helping me with this incredible endeavor, and you'll be looking forward to even more amazing content in 2023. Um, before we get into what we weren't able to get into in part two, I did start something on social media that didn't really pick up, but there are some things that I wish to end in 2022. Uh, let's go ahead and dive into it. First up, the the Jeffrey Dahmer miniseries that just took over Netflix. I have very strong mixed feelings about, but the number one thing that needs to end in 2022 is sexualizing serial killers. Uh, Naya and Ziggy, I wasn't sure if you saw this on social media or not, but it was just people. I don't know if they were specifically attracted to the actor or like, or were they really into Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, what is your take on
It
this?
was a little bit of both because you saw it with the Ted Bundy special or TV show back in like I think it was like 2019. They were like actually sexualizing the actual serial killer and calling him hot. But with this one, I saw them mostly like justifying his actions was like he grew up in a rough family or something like that, and like they were sympathizing with him, which was really weird to me. Seeing that he only killed black and brown gay men, majority that was his victims. That was the majority of his victims. So I just thought that was a little crazy how like you could see when it's like us it was when it's like us, like black and brown people, like especially gay, no one seems to care.
Hmm.
When I just find it really weird when people like romanticize these actions or like try to play them off. Like there was a lot of Jeffrey Dahmer skits and stuff like that I saw on like TikTok, and on social media and stuff like that. And it was just really weird and like kind of dehumanizing to the victims because like this is a real like it's not a joke. Like this really happened. It was sick and grotesque and it was a tragedy. I just don't think that people should be sexualizing or like fantasizing or like making it out to be a joke. It was just weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't that long ago, so majority of the victims' families are still alive. So they still have to like stumble across this on their social media feed. So I found a lot of people's infatuation with this character very heartless. Like, and Netflix has to take some responsibility as well. I didn't watch the series, but based on some of the clips that were online, it was like they were intentionally making Jeffrey Dahmer hot. Like, am I wrong? And
I mean, it was directed by Ryan Murphy. I just think that the person that plays Ryan Murphy, just it was kind of sexual when like he was. Have you watched it?
I've seen
I
scenes where it
haven't.
looks like he's with his victims. I'll say that.
Okay, so like there's like this
Hmm.
one scene where like I guess he's drinking a bag of blood. He's like
A
dancing.
bag?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry for that.
he was a whole
Like
cannibal.
dancing, like dancing, but like it's like sexual. So people are like sexualizing it on the internet. Somebody even had their child dressed up as fucking Jeffrey Dahmer. Like
I
he's
Mm-mm.
a
think wasn't it
fictional
like
character. Like, this is weird.
during
It's
when the case was happening, nobody believed it was Jeffrey Dahmer because of how he looked in the
yeah,
past
because
as
he
well.
doesn't look. That's the scary part. So when it comes to crime dramas, coming from a criminal justice major, I'd rather you just do the documentaries as opposed to the reenactments or try to have some creative liberty with it because if you're looking at the documentary, you're trying to understand how did he slip through the cracks, like how did he become this? You know what I mean? Because the whole point of criminal justice or like if or studying criminal justice is figuring is trying to find out how somebody becomes a criminal so that you can prevent it from happening. And there are a lot of lessons,
Mm.
especially within law enforcement, that you could learn from, this particular case. But when you purposely sexualize a serial killer, it, I mean, to be honest, this is not a new phenomenon. It's just because you always have like weird serial killer groupies. Even if it wasn't, like the actor that played Quicksilver and all of that, he actually played a lot of other doc roles too.
Hybristophiliacs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Bradford
I
Evan
think that's what they're
Peters
called.
really needs to go to therapy. Like
yeah.
he has played so many dark roles
Isn't he
in the
on
past. He's on
Horror
American Horror
Story?
Story.
American
Yeah,
Horror Story, yeah.
American.
So, I think one the actor that
Like
is
that
like playing,
time.
yeah, the actor that's playing this character one needs to take a break from these types of roles because it can really mess with your head. And then two, when
Mm.
a studio picks up these true crime stories, I think it's more important to consider the victims' families when you do this.
Yeah, they're not
None,
paying.
Mm.
I heard that they're not paying. None of the money that's coming from the
Like,
show is going to the families.
and I think Netflix should make it right. I think that this was so disgusting. People are so weird with like just sexualizing this guy. Like he's a cannibal and necrophiliac. I don't understand the appeal, and I think people have to realize how problematic it is to worship this type of person. Whether the actor is hot or not, like that's not the point. Like I think if you want to just learn about Jeffrey Dahmer, there is a documentary that I think is also available on Netflix, or if it's an earlier movie like My Friend Dahmer, where you get to like see what his childhood was like and get a better sense of like how he turned into this monster. But I didn't want to watch the series, even though Niecy Nash, I think she's up for Academy Awards. for her performance, and like
Oh,
that's
good
a
for her.
like I'm happy for her because I've been a fan of her for years, ever since Reno 911, and such a great comedic actress, and for her to win be up for Academy Award for such a serious role, that was my confliction with the series. So like I'm glad for Niecy that she's going to get that recognition, but the whole fetishizing and sexualizing Jeffrey Dahmer has to go.
Yeah,
We
can I be honest with you guys? After I finished watching this series, I was like scared to go to sleep. Like I was literally having nightmares because I was horrified. Like the stuff that was in the show, although like they were like kind of tasteful what they chose to show and what they chose not to show, but like it's scary because this is a real event. Like I was like having trouble sleeping. Like it was like when I watched, what is that movie
Because it's
called?
like,
Gerald's Game. When I watched that movie Gerald's
yeah, and it
Game,
was like,
I got so scared I
yeah,
couldn't
it
go to
was in the
sleep.
end, it was an actual person. You
Yeah,
mean the person
bro.
that she saw in the car was real?
Oh my
And
gosh,
he
it
could have
was
actually killed her,
Gerald.
but he
If you,
didn't.
that movie's old, but if you haven't watched Gerald's Game, you should watch it. It's good. But Jeffrey Dahmer TV show scared me for real.
I mean, yeah, because this is like it's
Yeah, I've
there's
seen.
somebody that it's a real person. It's not the boogeyman or some fictional, horror character. Like this was like a
That's
real
what's
person,
terrifying about it, man.
and he got away with this
This
so
could be
long.
anybody.
Right. Yeah, so hopefully that ends in
Like,
2022. Stop sexualizing serial killers. All right. Another
sadly, we can only hope.
yeah. Another violent trend that needs to end in 2022 is gun violence. I hope that you can see the
Uh,
statistics that we've had. Like, look at how many people have died as a result of gun violence. A total of like almost 44,000. And this data is from the Gun Violence Archives .org. So you're free to check it out and to actually see where it's happening. But when I looked it up for this show and to look at the numbers, like it's absolutely heartbreaking. This is all as of today of 2022, December 28th, 2022. This is how many people have died as a result of gun violence. And it's kind of split between homicides and trigger warning suicides. And there's two things that could easily be done to help resolve this issue. One, what everybody's been asking for, by the way, in terms of having better access to mental health and background checks. Assault, and another thing is ban on assault rifles. Three things. Three things that you could do to help drop down this number, but we have yet to see any progress or anything really being done to resolve this issue. Um, being an educator, we have seen, unfortunately, a number of students, former classmates, perish as a result to gun violence. And it sucks that in 2022, still no change. No matter like who's in office, whether red or blue, it's nothing has really been done about it. Guys, what are your take on this unfortunate trend?
Uh, I've known from like a very young age how dangerous like gun violence is and how common it is in certain neighborhoods and areas. Because like when I grown up, I've lost a lot of family members and a lot of family friends to gun violence, and I myself have been almost a victim of gun violence due to just living in a dangerous like impoverished area. So, like I know like how harmful gun violence is and how crazy it can be.
I mean, yeah, we see it way too often, especially in black communities. And we hope that in 2023 there'll be more efforts to put an end to this deadly trend. Uh, Next, another thing that should end in 2022, not as serious as the first two topics, but it's something that we should keep an eye on, and that's the AI art, or what I call it, the AI ripoff. Now, as you've probably seen on your timeline and your social media feed, is that a lot of people are uploading images of themselves to various AI apps that could turn them into any painting, or portrait. And there are like two big concerns with this. One, what I've seen, well, I don't know if this is 100% true. This has just been what's circulating online. A lot of people are concerned about uploading their face to an AI because, as you know, it's artificial intelligence. They start learning on their own, and we're not 100% certain what the AI is going to do with our likeness. People are concerned of possible deep fakes, or that our images may be used in ways that we don't necessarily consent to, if you catch my drift. The other issue is that the AI is, using artists' styles of art to recreate some of these images, and that it is taking away possible jobs from artists. What have you guys tried this AI feature yet?
No, I have not.
I haven't. I haven't either.
What is your
But you're
take?
right, it has been all over my feed.
But what is your guys' take on this AI art phenomenon?
Well, I just think that if it is dangerous as people are saying it is, I'm glad I didn't use it. Because the idea of like the not the government, but AI having like my face and just being able to do what they want with it. They said that about the Snapchat filters like back in 2017. Said the same thing that the little thing that like graphs your face is like recognizing your face is gonna save it to a database or something. But I also learned that the AI is like ripping off like art styles from other creators without like crediting them, and that's wrong as well.
Yeah,
That's
I
still
mean,
in the hard work of artists.
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna use it as like almost like a filter, and you're taking these art styles from these creators. Like you can at least compensate them or give them some shares of the profit. I would feel a little bit better about that. But if you really want a nice portrait of yourself, just pay somebody to do it. I know a few graphic designers and artists myself, and it would just be better if you just pay. It may be a little bit more expensive, but at least
More ethical, you know what
yeah,
I mean?
it's more
Hmm.
ethical, and you don't have to worry about the Terminator somehow using your face for whatever evil deed. So
Yeah, one weird tangent that I could say is like it's somewhat similar to this situation, but it's more kind of a horror type deal. Have you ever heard of the Mandela Catalog?
no, what is that?
It's like a series. It's like a VHS like series on YouTube where it's about this area that has these creatures that are copying people, their voices, faces, and stuff like that to take over, and they're hiding themselves within human society. And the most recent episode that came out, they made this type of computer system where a person will send the computer system their face for it to replicate, and these are the way these creatures are finding ways to manipulate themselves in a human society easier.
I think the unfortunate thing is in the age of social media, we already, are kind of doing that. Whether it's on Twitter,
Hmm.
Instagram, at some point we have uploaded our images of us and, our family and friends. So we're technically already in the system. but I think it was like the AI. I think we have the name AI attached to it, like artificial intelligence. You already know that it's going to start learning and building and things of that nature. So I pretty much stayed away from it. A lot of my other students were talking about it, and it's kind of mixed. Some people want to see it because, of course, like it looks, amazing. But I really want to do my part to promote artists because there are a lot of them out there. And what I'm going to do in this stream is kind of showcase some of the graphic designers and artists that I actually know. The first one I want to highlight is Roger Brown, who actually did the logo and banner design for Noir Vibes. I simply just took a picture of how I want the logo to look. I kind of, did a little mini photo shoot with myself and sent them the picture. And, he was able to replicate it so beautifully in this banner. So shout out to him. If you would like anything made, make sure that you DM him at the Roger Brown on Instagram. So please make sure that you follow him and check him out. And definitely hit him up if you are looking to, design a logo and banner for your business. Now, to continue on from last week, uh, we talked so much about like our beloved TV shows and movies. We still had two more to discuss, and they're really good. They're like the best for last. I saved the best for last. The last two, and of course, the first movie that I'm going to talk about is The Woman King. Now, when I first heard about this movie, I was super excited. Um, because if you know me, we listen to the podcast. I have I don't want to say disdain. I just wish for Hollywood to kind of step away from black tragedy movies and
Yeah.
focus more on, like, we need another Hidden Figures. I want to learn more about other historical black people uh who, outside of slavery, outside of civil rights. I heard the Emmett Till movie and series was very good, but I'm like, they had a movie and series within the same year, and they came out, not too far apart. So
Yeah.
I was just like, that, and that's like a very hard story. Like, I'm already aware of it, um, and I understand the importance of telling those stories, but at the same time, we gotta balance it out. Where,
Can I say something real quick?
oh yeah,
Okay, so like I just think that we need more like black characters and like m- more roles other outside of like fiction. I mean, non-fiction and slavery movies. You know what I mean? Like it's good to know our history, but like I want to see a movie where like a black girl is going to a school for being like a witch or something or a wizard,
Please.
something like magical or something
Honestly,
like that, or like some
you know
like
what I mean.
sci-fi type shit. Like I want to see something like that. I'm tired of seeing all these slave movies and
get a little bit more
I love
creative
learning
with
about
it.
history. I love Black History. Like I won the Black History Bowl multiple times at my high school.
That is a
Yes,
flex.
I
That
love
is a
Black
huge
History.
flex right there.
But I just wanna step outside the fantasy realm because I'm tired of seeing like there's black nerds out here, there's black geeks out here that want to see themselves in their fantasy and their lore. I'm just saying like I just want to see more roles like that, or you could just give us a nice non-stereotypical rom-com, that's not directed by Tyler Perry. I'm willing to fuck with.
For the love of God.
For the love of God.
I mean,
Something outside of the box. I'm just trying to sing the same thing.
I agree. I think there are a lot of historical black figures that could be highlighted, like, Benjamin Banneker for help, building DC. Um, where's the Washington Carver? Like, where can we see a movie where he just makes like all the inventions out of peanuts? That could be, you know what I mean?
They
Like
did that in Proud Family. He was in Proud Family.
yeah, but
The
like
movie,
more like a live action, you know what I mean? Like let's see like more inventors, more creators, things like that.
yeah, with dancing peanuts.
I'll play devil's advocate. So you're gonna sit down for an hour or some change and watch a man make peanut inventions.
it could be funny. It could be funny, but it's just like I just want
Sorry,
something. I just need a balance because like when you're watching like black tragedy like back to back, like even like the sci-fi element that you're talking about, I think it was Spike Lee. He made like this time travel movie, but it was centered around police brutality. Like her
Oh,
brother
I
was
saw
shot.
that. I think
Yeah,
Manai, did we watch that together? The girl
Wait,
like
what was
goes
it
back in
called?
time to stop her brother from getting shot by the police.
I'm pretty. Yeah, I think we did see that. I don't know if we
It's
finished
on
it though.
Netflix.
I mean, even like
We watched it
Lovecraft,
together.
them, like there's certain horror and sci-fi elements like with black characters, but it's always, you know, dealing with
Eye to
racism.
reality or something like that.
Yeah. So, it's interesting to watch, but sometimes it gets like it weighs on you mentally, you know what I mean, dealing with black tragedy. So like I was very excited when I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna learn about a group of African women warriors that were defending their kingdom, against slave traders. And I was just like, that's refreshing. That was very refreshing. And then
That's
when they
different.
yeah,
Okay.
and then they were like posting online like the amount of training that they had to do to prepare for this role. Like they were very hands-on, they were getting fit, they were, learning the fight choreography and things like that. So I was very excited to, see this film, and I thought it was going to be primarily action, but they
I
done
thought
it
that
so
too.
beautifully to show how okay, these women aren't just like fighters, but they are also like it's a whole sisterhood. You know what I mean? If one dies, like they feel that. It's not like, oh, it's just another body gone. It's like they really have this strong bond together because like they train the training to become these women. I think it's the Agoji. If I'm mispronouncing that, please forgive me. Um, the Agoji warriors, and they are like in high regard in their village. Like people don't look at them directly when they come in from battle. It's just like to show their respect, and like I just appreciated it so much. It was so good. Like I laughed, I cried. It was an emotional roller coaster. Um, it centers around this one girl that joins the Agoji uh Nawi, and she basically joins because she doesn't want to get married to an abusive piece of shit, and she was just like, yeah, I rather be a warrior. And they take her in um just to like see her whole training process, and fighting. But the Agoji and the Homie kingdoms are fighting against slave traders. Um, Viola Davis character, she's main confidant to the king, that's played by what's it?
Viola
John
Davis.
Boyega. John Boyega. Oh my God,
But
by John Boyega. By John. Oh my God.
sorry, I'm sorry.
By
Viola
John Boyega, and she's basically convinced John Boyega is the king, and Viola is convincing him like, "Yo, we don't have to like go along with this whole slave trade anymore. We could just be farmers and thrive off that." And that's like primarily where the conflict comes in, and where they have to fight against the not only the European slave traders, but another African tribe that's like have heavy artillery. It's a very strong, interesting movie, and there was like a twist that I did not see coming. Um, we later find out that Nawe is Viola Davis character's daughter that she had given away
Oh.
because one the
Oh.
yeah, so the women warriors, like, they don't marry, don't have kids, none of that. But Viola Davis character was captured, and unfortunately, trigger warning, was raped. And she managed to get away. She was pregnant. She, had the baby away from camp, and um had one of her friends like drop the baby off at an orphanage. And after like an exchange, they kind of like discovered this, and it was like, eh,
Well, damn.
yeah. I mean, this caused a stir in the theaters. Um, but Nawe is a very interesting character because it's like she wants to be a warrior, but she's also develops a romantic interest with the light skinned character. And it's like,
No.
here we go.
He gotta be light skinned.
He's light skinned, and what's his name? Because it was very his name is Malik in the film, and I was just like, this is a very light skinned name. Super, like, when I say he's like a pretty boy, like he's giving. I was just like, is this Bridgerton? Because it was giving that a little
Oh,
bit. Like, he's, of course, half black, half white, but he's with the
I see
the
him.
slave traders. And
Of
but he's also
course.
conflicted too because he's still part black, but he's seeing like, he's from, he could trace his family back to the tribe, and he's very conflicted because he's seeing like his own people getting, you know captured and being sold to slavery. So, and then, but he bumps into Nawe, and they have a whole exchange, and then apparently feelings develop. But part of me feels like, because at one point he has to rescue her from the slave trade, like he brought her to save her, and I feel like it's not a real romance. It's just circumstantial because you know, um, her life was on the line type deal. But I would just say this is a very good movie. If you have not seen it, I'm so sorry. I spoiled a lot, but it's a very good movie. You will laugh, you will cry. It has a lot of peaks and valleys, and I would say this because they made, again. You could definitely, there was a lot of good on-screen chemistry with the women warriors because when they were not fighting, when they were, the way they hype each other up was like so dope and exciting. Like it's like its own little step show. Almost, that's the best way I could describe it. But this was a very dope film. I hope that they would put this up for an Academy Award because I do think they deserve it. If not for like the storyline and acting alone, just the recognition for the amount of training and hard work that it took to pull this off. Um, so I know you guys haven't had a chance to watch it, but just based on what I described, like, what is your take on the film?
That shit sound dope as hell. I wanted to watch it before we started the chat. I wanted to watch to see what it's like, but then I realized I'm broke. And I'm gonna get you. Give me a second.
Okay, but I mean, it is available now on Amazon and YouTube for like, I think like $6. So you have $6. You could definitely watch it streaming at home. But I definitely would recommend. This is a very good movie. It's about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours long. Um, but this was a very good movie and very satisfying at the end. All right.
Weird
Moving on.
tangent. Wait. I looked up the movie and I see that the British dude from After is in it.
Oh,
So we just
Is
gonna swipe past that?
Are you talking about John Boyega or Jordan?
no, she doesn't. I don't think she
No,
knows
no,
what that
no, no.
series is.
You don't know what After
Millennial.
is?
I don't think she knows what that is. She's a
Wait.
How?
millennial.
She doesn't know. Oh crap! But you know, right? Z, you know what I'm
No,
talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
So okay, what?
He's
Okay,
in that movie.
what actor are you referring to?
The
The white man.
He's white and British. He's white and British.
Joe Jordan Bolger,
No,
the
Ain't
one
no
that played
no.
damn.
I
Malik.
said white.
The
Full on
white
white. Full
man, not
Oh,
on.
the
so
mixed
Hero,
man.
White.
His name is Hero.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's about to be my new name, Hero. I'm gonna look it up. That's off topic, but yeah, he's in this movie called After. It's really bad. It's based on
Very
a
bad.
Harry Styles fanfic on Wattpad, I believe.
People are
It has
making
it has
people are
spawned
actually wait,
five.
time out. People are
Yeah, yeah.
actually making TV shows based on Wattpad fanfic.
Yes, there's the kissing booth,
Yes,
all
yes, they
that.
are.
It's like you have no idea how much
To all the boys
fanfic
I've ever
has
loved.
shaped a generation of writers. You have not, and you can't understand. It's like when books get made. I know they books, but like, you know what I mean?
Wasn't
Like they,
365 Days basically a fanfic?
yeah. And so is what is it
And
called? The kissing booth.
Lord.
50 Shades of Grey. That was also
The
a fanfic.
50 Shades of Grey was not.
No, that was actual
It was.
book.
It was of Edward. No, it was supposed to be a fan. It was a fanfic of Edward from Twilight.
Wow. Learn something every day. But yeah, apparently the hero guy, he was
She had to change
oh,
his name.
I'm gonna just say he got his comeuppance because he was terrible. Because he was like telling Malik, "Oh, like be grateful, like you're not in the change."
Oh my god.
So
Oh.
hero, that was very unheroic of you, and I'm glad you got your comeuppance in the film. All right.
He
Um,
got a better role than after.
but moving on to a superhero movie that was also inspired by the women of the Abaji. Uh, we're gonna go into Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Okay, I would just want to take a second to acknowledge like there were so many things going on around this film. First, uh, the lead, Lolita Wright, she was like dealing with injuries. There were rumors, that she wasn't going to end up being Black Panther because of her injury, or like these are rumors. Like again, these are little snippets that I kept seeing like on social media. Um, in terms of, I think it was a controversy about like the vaccine, like she wasn't for it, and they want to do something like that. So there was a lot of like we thought the actor that played M'Baku, Winston Duke, may end up being Black Panther or something. We were seeing all of that online at one point. And then of course people want to have a whole campaign to recast Chadwick Boseman's character T'Challa um for this film. They didn't want for his character to die, but I'm gonna just say this because one, I thought the whole recasting campaign was so disrespectful. Uh, these actors are more than just co-workers to each other. They consider themselves family, more than friends, like whole families. Like if you hear some of the stories that they have of Chadwick when they were, training for the film and doing all the fight choreography and stuff, like the memories that you have with Chadwick, it just make you miss him even more and just understand like what a great human being he was, and then the fact that he was taking on this very physical role while he was on chemo. It's like I don't know of anybody currently in Hollywood that would want to take the role of T'Challa just after everything. So that I was very upset about that
I
campaign.
just don't think it's a role you can follow up to. I feel like Chadwick Boseman left his mark with that role. I feel like even if you wanted to recast, which is disrespectful in a way, they weren't gonna, no one was gonna be pleased with whoever they chose to like recast like him
It
in the
wouldn't feel the
same
same.
role. It wasn't gonna feel the same. I think people wasn't gonna be happy with that.
And you're right. I mean, that's a setup. It's because nobody would dare put themselves in that position, you know. And I just saw somebody say it online. that put a lot of things in perspective because Paul Walker from the Fast and Furious franchise, there wasn't a campaign to have his character recast.
Mm.
You know what I
Damn.
mean? But yet you hear like, okay, well, just have T'Challa recast in the midst of like
It's
everything. I
almost
don't.
like they view black actors as dispensable and replaceable. And like,
Just commodities just to have.
yeah, like we don't make our mark when obviously Chadwick Boseman did that. So it is kind of disrespectful in a way. And
It
people were just like, "Oh, just replace him. You can just replace him."
No,
it's
it's
like
not.
no,
It's
they
not.
did an excellent way to honor his memory and pay tribute to Chadwick. Um, from the when it first starts off, they didn't have his character die in battle. They said he died of like a mysterious disease, and Suri was doing her best to try to find a cure but couldn't. And they
Mm.
had a lovely mural of Chadwick and a lovely funeral. Everybody in all white, like it was done beautifully, and it was a touching tribute. So I would say that it started off right, and I think the true fans, really did appreciate that, and it with the loss of her brother, Shuri is really struggling with the grief. Her mother, um, Ramunda, played by Angela Bassett, which my God, she's up for an Academy Award for her performance, and rightfully so.
And she should be. And she
She's
should
tried
be.
to coach Shuri through the grief, but in the midst of you know trying to get her through this tough moment, you have Namor come out
Mm.
of the waters and enter Wakanda and approach the queen and the princess with an offer, which basically said like, "Yo, you need to help me find and kill the scientist that created this vibranium detector,
What?
or like I'm gonna crush your city." So we can be friends
That's
and like that. Yeah, it's very
that's just out of
abrasive.
left field. This,
Like,
just,
I mean, it's when he first approaches them, he has like admiration for the Wakanda city, but he was just like being very true with his intentions in terms of like
this
what
place
he
is
wants and what he needs done.
nice. This is
It's nice,
like this
yo.
is
Like, I
nice.
need you
It's
to help me
like
find and kill the
so
scientist.
like can you like so if you don't help me, I'm gonna
Like,
kill you.
you're gonna have a problem. Like, I'm gonna come back,
Mess up your
and I
city.
got like a ton of homies that are gonna like come through, and we're gonna wreck your city.
Like multiple scenes
You
where
scratch my
like
back, I
they're
scratch yours.
like what is the people of like Namor's culture called?
I forgot, but it is based on like Mesoamerican. I can't remember if it's like Aztec or Mayan.
Hmm.
But it's I would say like uh the creators of Wakanda and Black Panther does such an excellent job with designing these cities, especially the underwater. Like it's beautifully done. It's from the costumes, like the set and everything.
Atlantis.
Like everything is just like beautifully done. I cannot remember what they were called. Forgive me, but um, they were nobody to play with at all. Like these were like very
Mm.
formidable adversaries, and they had Wakanda shook us. Like this, like I was just like, yo, and it was a good change of pace because like we always had a complaint of how some of the other Marvel
Overpowered.
villains are either taken out way too quickly or may not be as
Mm.
strong as they were in the comic books. But like, yo, Namor's people were they were serious. They were like, but and what I also appreciate about this film is like when it comes to like the whole good guy bad guy thing, it's not always black and white. They give us like the backstory
Mm.
of Namor, so we have an understanding of where he comes from and why he's like this. He's basically like another Killmonger, but
Ah,
like has way like he just has like a bigger army, and he's a mutant, like like one of the first mutants, so like he's super strong and almost like indestructible. So
he
he
got
has
all
that
these
going for him.
pluses. Where are the minuses? Where are the minuses?
His temperament is the
Add in the
minus.
negatives, please.
His temperament, I
That's
think,
it.
was the biggest problem, because no, because I feel like Suri understands where Namor is coming from, because after the first movie and dealing with Killmonger and understanding where he's
Mm.
coming from, and I think at some point she probably had the opportunity to work in the inner cities, and with the STEM projects, so it's like she knows and understands his anger. He told his whole story to her. She sympathized with him, and Shuri did try her best to like really um negotiate with him. Like they eventually find the scientist is Riri. Riri Williams. If you don't know that, she is Ironheart.
Yeah,
She
shout to
invented
her.
the
Shout out.
machine. Yeah, she invented the. I mean, okay, she invented the machine, but it was for. She's in college and she invented it for class. But the professor, a white man,
Mm.
stole her invention and like sold it to the
Of
government
course.
for them to
What?
use. So she's inadvertently getting caught up in the crosshairs of this. So that's why Shuri is trying her best. Like, yo, you can't really kill her because it's not her fault. She invented it, she created it, but like she wasn't. She's a
She didn't
kid. You
use
know what I
want to
mean?
use it as a massive weapon of destruction. She just wanted to use it as like what I love about her character is like she creates these like amazing and so sophisticated inventions. She's just like so like chill about it. She's like, it's no big deal.
Yeah, I mean,
I
she
love her for
invented.
that.
The best part of the scene is when like they find Riri, and they get chased down by like law enforcement. I think it was also like CIA, but she comes out to escape in a whole Iron Man suit, and one of
Uh,
the like the best scenes. So just to like see
damn.
her, like clearly she doesn't have like all the resources the same as Tony does, but she does have that level of genius. So I was very excited when I heard that she was going to be connecting with Shuri, because Shuri's the one with all the tech, and just imagine like those two minds coming together to really create some great weaponry, in this fight. But I digress.
Wait,
Uh,
how old is she in the movie?
I think she's college age, so maybe 18, 19. I know in the
Okay.
comic book she's much younger, like teens, like 15 or
Yeah,
something
that's
like
what I was
that.
like. I was curious.
But yeah, I think they made her a little bit
Same age as
older.
Spider Man.
And who knows, they may, cross paths in the future. That's you know, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, I was really excited to see Riri appear in this the film, and just to see them connect. But like I said, like Shuri was fighting so hard to protect Riri, and just trying to kind of talk Namir down. Like, yo, I understand what you're trying to protect. I know where you're coming from. Like, colonizers are the problem. I don't think it's right to kill this young girl, because it's really not her fault. But then, her mother, and again, I understand everybody's motivation to their actions. It just sucks what the outcome was. You know, um, Angela Bassett made this amazing speech because she was talking to the main door Melage, um what's her name, Okaya. Okay, I'm mispronouncing that so bad. Like, please correct me with the pronunciation. I don't mind. Like, I know I'm butchering it, but she was conveying to her like, "Yo, I lost everybody in my family, my husband, my son, and now I don't know that my if my daughter is alive or not. She's missing at this point, and so like I'm gonna go get her back no matter what I gotta do." And I respected that, like the emotion and power that Angela Bassett gave to that scene. It deserves an Academy Award. My only fear is that the Academy doesn't really respect um the hero action genre too much. They'll give it like awards for like maybe best costume and makeup, but in terms of acting, I feel like a lot of things, a lot of characters get overlooked in some sense. Um, but
Yeah, same
Angela,
with horror.
Angela delivered that scene. So like I understand where she's coming from, but after she gets her daughter back, and one of Namor's people gets like killed in the process of rescuing
Ooh.
Shuri and Riri. So like Namor is like, I told y'all, like, if you cross this line, I'm coming after you. And he like wrecks Wakanda. Like he brings all these people and just lays out, just like it don't matter. It was like men, women, children, everybody caught the smoke. And then he even kills the queen. You killed the queen. Why?
Oh,
What?
what? Not Angela Bassett.
The fuck?
And I'm just like, yo, and he was like, he like told Shuri like, yo, like, go ahead and mourn, bury your dead, you're the queen now, and just flies off with his little wings on his feet. And I'm just like,
Nuh-uh.
yo, and like,
Get your ass back here.
I'm like, and there was some definitely some backlash. Okay, so now we have two funerals in a movie. So I understand some
Bruh.
people's like quips about that, but um Shuri, okay, so I'm gonna rewind a little bit. There was an issue with Purple Heart Herb after Killmonger, like he burned like the whole thing. Wasn't really any left, and part of Shuri trying to save her brother when he was like dying from this unknown disease was trying to recreate it, but she couldn't at the time. But the interesting fact is that Namor's people, since they were struck by or were near vibranium, because apparently that's the key to the little plant and mutation with these people. Um, that is similar to how the heart-shaped plant herb was created, and as a token, I guess, of them trying to negotiate or whatever, Namor gives Shuri this bracelet that had the plant in it. So she uses that to recreate the Purple Heart herb
How did
and becomes Black Panther, the new Black Panther.
how did he
But I mean, it was she. Uh, I'm assuming it looked like a 3D printer type thing. How she was able to recreate the Purple Heart herb. That's the best way I can describe it. But when she now this is the kicker. When she goes to the ancestral plane, you think, oh, she's about to see her mother, because she just and she really wants to see her mother. Guess who she sees?
Killmonger.
Boom. And we were
Yes,
like,
Daddy.
we were just like,
Yes.
yo, everybody in the theater was shook. It's like, what is going on? Why is she seeing him?
Because
And they had a good dialogue because it seemed like Shuri was about to be on the same path as Killmonger. Like her motives is simply for payback and revenge. And it was like a good, conflict struggle because like, yo, she was telling everybody, like, I'm ending the war. Like I'm ending him. Like I do not care about the sake of everything or really none of that. Like he killed my mom. Like I'm ending this dude. And and I feel like that's like the common theme for the a lot of the Marvel movies. Like we saw that in Spider-Man. We saw that with the was it Civil War?
yeah, it was
Maybe
Civil War.
Yeah, there's like a debate of whether or not to kill the person that has took something from me or like has killed my loved one. Um, and to be honest, like I don't know what I would have done in Shuri's shoes because okay, so the final battle takes place. I ain't gonna lie, there's really good fight scenes between Namor's people and the Wakandans, but the Wakandans was being outnumbered. It's a numbers game. Namor has like endless people, and then how you have water bombs? How do you have components to like for something
Didn't he get
that
the
could
element on his
combust
side?
that could like blow up. These water bombs are a menace. They are a menace. It don't make sense. What is in the water bombs that is like that's explosive?
Water.
That blows up is just causing endless damage. It
Oxygen.
was wrecking everything. But yeah, it was just was
Oxygen.
a numbers
That's what it
game.
is.
Like,
Oxygen.
and I think the fact like, and then Wakanda is like a set of group of people could fight, but it seemed like
Hmm.
almost everybody in the Moors kingdom got hands. Like everybody's strong.
I mean, I wouldn't be
Everybody
surprised with his temperament.
like everybody's powerful. So he has it really was a numbers game, and the fact like everybody, it's like almost everybody has the heart herb, if that makes sense. That plant,
Mm.
because like their ancestors like
Oh.
ate the plant to like fight off the disease that was given from like the colonizers. So it's just like everybody's souped up. So it was a numbers game and everybody was powered. So when we had the final fight between Shuri and Namor, Shuri finally like in the midst of the fight and she cooked Namor. Like she found a way like just had this like dude like KO'd and is about to deliver the final blow, but then that's when she sees her mother. And she hears her say like, well, remind him who you are. So it's like
I'm going for it.
You said
she's
what?
like finally, you know, it's kind of feel at peace. It just makes and it was the right decision because like her people were about to like be wiped out. It's just
Hmm.
have him yield, come to a truce, so there's like nobody else is dying. And which I can understand because it's like basically y'all are killing each other over what white people did. You know what I'm saying? Like if y'all
Yeah.
would just like be together and just work out a sound plan, like you don't have to like attack the mainland or nothing like that. But y'all could just work together to just kind of prevent, whatever Namor thinks is coming, as opposed to just, just attack and wipe out everybody. Like that's not needed. But it's also no point of just y'all keep killing each other either. So we get that. Um, I thought it was a dope film, but there is another surprise, and I thought that this was a very tasteful way to pay homage to Chadwick and to keep the T'Challa character alive. At the end of the movie, and I believe it was part of the post credit scenes, we find out that T'Challa had a son.
Yes, I knew it. I knew it was coming. Sorry.
Yeah, he has a son, and his name is also T'Challa. So there's that, and I thought this was like a good way and a tasteful way. Like we're going to keep the character alive, but it's through lineage. It's through like a bloodline, and I thought that was so smart of them to do that, as opposed to just getting like another actor and we just going to pretend like, oh, he's always been the child. Like no, we're not doing that. So this was very smart, it's very tasteful. Like I enjoyed it. It was like good from beginning to end. The soundtrack was dope. This was Rihanna's big comeback after,
8 years, I think.
beat yeah, from like singing and like it was dope. Everybody got emotional in the theater. I started welling a little bit with the tears. So it was a really great film and I'm looking forward to see the lingering question mark. I don't know if Suri is going to be the queen. Like technically she'll be next in line, but I think Mbaku may take the role as king only because that's how they set it up to look. I think that Shuri has just took on too much grief. Like her
She
whole
needs a
family
moment.
is gone, and I think it'd be hard for her to balance both being the Black Panther ruling Wakanda amongst in everything that's happened to her. I think she's dealing with a lot of trauma. I think that she needs time to process that, and I'm glad that they kind of, showcase that in the movie. All right. Before we move on to our next segment, I do want to highlight another graphic designer, and this person has really helped me so much with my publication, whether it's being a guest star on the show or just helping me, get acquainted with the Twitch and Discord community. I'm talking about Marcel Gallion, who is a major graphic designer. They just graduated. Well, they're graduating this February. They're done with school. So they are taking on commissions. And so you have some of their sample work here. You can DM them at Melanin Prodigy on Instagram, or you could go to their email, which is semnario64@gmail.com. I think I pronounced that right. But I will also have this information in the description of the audio podcast for those that are listening. Again, here's some of their sample work. And they also do great character designs for the WWE wrestling game. So if you would like for them to design your character, please hit them up. I encourage you. They're doing commissions now. They're available to do that and support local queer artists. All right. Moving on to our next segment now. To be fair, I am not versed in this next category, but this genre of music has basically taken over my studio classroom at work. When Manaya and Ziggy were students, that they would play K-pop almost all the time, and some of them be having some bops. It's just
So,
like I think my one commentary was just the cultural appropriation a little bit. But to be fair,
right.
like black music and black people as a whole has pretty much dominated the music genre and has been such an inspiration and influence like almost everything. So it's like who's not appropriating at this point? But we're going to get into K-pop, and this is where Ziggy and Naya will come in and just give us all the news of everything that's been happening with K-pop this year in 2022. And of course, we're going to start off with the rise of the girl groups in K-pop. So, what's been going on with the girl groups?
Okay, y'all. So it started back in December 2021, where Starship Entertainment had debuted their phenomenal girl group known as IVE. It is consisted of six girls named Wonyoung, Youngjin, Yujin, Liz, Ray, what's her name? Lisa, and Gal. And what I mean by the rise of girl groups, meaning is for the past like 3, 5 years, boy groups have dominated K-pop. Most likely, their title tracks have been shared the most among social media, as far as challenges, choreography, and you know coverage goes. So this year, the girls really fought back. Like girl groups were debuting back to back with bangers. Like it was just so beautiful. I wanted to start off with IVE because they won Rookie of the Year for Best Female New Group. I was just so proud of them because they were. I just love their music. When you love somebody's music, first listen, you just join like a connection with them. So that's just what my vibe with IVE was. And not only did they win Rookie of the Year, they also won Best Song of the Year, beating BTS on their 3-year reign of consecutive Best Song of
Finally.
the Year wins at Mama.
Jesus Christ.
So a lot of people are saying it's also the win was rigged because their company
Wow.
owns like Mama or whatever. But I'm proud of them nonetheless because when you make great music, you deserve to get great awards.
Let the
Some girl
girls
groups
take the
I was
win.
mad that didn't get.
Sorry.
Some girl groups I was mad that didn't get awards, but at the end of the day, my alt group come in and save the day. That was my opinion. What else were we talking about? What else is next? Yeah, I was talking
We can just
about.
K-pop in
Yeah,
general.
I'm sorry. I got off topic. Because
You
I used
good?
to be a boy group stan. Like I used to only listen to boy group music. So for me to like
I
shift.
remember
Oh yeah, yeah.
you said I'm, I gotta stay loyal to the boy groups. I can't cheat right now. I gotta stay loyal.
I love girl groups. I
And
just
then you
love the
got into
concept. I
Twice.
just feel like yeah, I got into twice. I just feel like girl groups are
And everything
more
changed.
diverse and like the concepts that they're bringing are fresh. And, like their music is becoming more easy to listen to because boy groups nowadays they're going into. Let me explain what this like noise music trend is. Let me explain. Like, if you don't know what
Oh
noise
my
music
god.
is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's noise on a beat. So you got groups like NCT. Most they're famous for doing noise music.
Mhm.
A lot of copycats that try
Yeah.
to do the same thing. It's not as iconic, but what can you say? Um, I just feel like boy groups are they're just flatlining for me. And I just like there's like 3 or 4 boy groups I know right now that I can tolerate music I can tolerate. I have about like also let me talk about another girl group that has not gotten a lot of recognition. Stacy, I love you girls. I love y'all for real. I love Stacy.
I agree.
You guys were my #1 Spotify rap artist of 2022. I love you music. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't listen to the haters. Real ones love you. Um, so yeah, with a lot of female domination in K-pop, it just gives female empowerment, and I like that because coming from a society and like in South Korea, like women aren't shown in like compared to men, like it's still sexist and sexist laws and stuff like that, sexist stuff and traditions and cultures and stuff like that. So to see women really in the forefront of K-pop, I was really feeling it this year. I just love when women are just on top.
Well, that's
What- what-
interesting to hear. I think the one concern I have for the girl groups is make sure that they are treated in with like humane conditions. There was this one of the idols kept fainting on stage due to exhaustion. Are the K-pop groups given like fair treatment or be able to take breaks? Because like I know being on the road and touring could like weigh a lot on a person, but are they, being properly taken care of?
it depends on
I
what
think that's
company you
mostly up
are.
to like the
Yeah,
companies and stuff.
it
Oh.
depends on your company. But you said the same thing. It depends on your
Yeah,
company. I
like they
can't
get.
say like it's the same for everybody. Like everybody has different conditions. Some are more extreme than others, and some are unhealthier than others. Like you got, it's not only girls that pass out on stage. It's like boys too. Like my man Jimin from BTS, he was starving himself for like a whole year. Was only eating a piece of like boiled chicken breast like a year to lose weight. Like, and
He
that's
really
another
starved
thing. We weren't
himself.
even talking about that, but like the standards of K-pop, they, I like how the fans or like how people aren't just like people are always gonna fat shame and attack an idol for looking a certain way, but like now you're seeing more people come together and fight that stuff online and stuff and try to protect that idol as much as they can because we're realizing that there are people and that they are not like these just figments of our imagination. Like they are real people with real feelings, and like they work hard to promote their art and work hard for their craft. I just think that they should be respected and like treated with dignity.
Very,
We getting
very
off
Yeah, they're not
important.
topic.
like these characters that we
We
love
are
in
getting off
anime.
topic.
They're real, actual people.
What else did I want to talk about? I don't. It wasn't on the list, but can we talk about this? This is really important, and if you are a K-pop stan, you have gotten into this group whether you like to admit it or not. Whether you're a fan now or you were back then, you've gotten into this group. So BTS is now enlisting in the South Korean army, and we are shook. Then the oldest member has already enlisted.
If
He
his
has already
head, it
enlisted.
looks
His head is
hilarious.
shaved. I wish we could pull up a picture right now, but we don't have it. But his head is shaved, girl. He is he is in the
Yes.
military. He's a military
Oh
man.
Lord.
We're just waiting for the rest of the members to finish their solo projects so we can hurry up. get them in the military so they could come back and hopefully their music is better by the time they get out the army. No shade to them. But
I mean, like they've been
But
falling
wait,
off a
where?
little bit. I'm gonna
I
be honest,
mean, I thought
falling off a little bit.
BTS has always had like a strong fan base. Where did they kind
have
of
No,
a
fall off?
you can have a they still have a strong fan base, but the
the
music is not
music,
good. The music, like,
the music's not hitting like
not
it
the
used to. It
same. Like
was in the
they was
past. It
hungry
was
back then.
hitting.
They was hungry back then. Like they not hungry no more. They're complacent. Like they're doing this
They're at the
disco
top of the
70s
charts right
pop.
now.
It's weird. Like, and it's weird that no matter what they put out is going to chart because of the fan base.
So,
Yep,
like,
that's
what do you
just like
think
yesterday.
is really like part of the problem? Because I know some people were complaining when they were doing more songs in English. Do you think that that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
factor?
It's the genre.
that is a
It's
factor.
the
Yeah,
lyrics. It's the cringiness. It's just like I get that you're trying to appeal to the American audience because that's where like you're starting to take off and become like global. But I just feel like they're losing the essence of themselves. You know what I mean? Trying to simulate.
like they trying to keep up with the trends more. Like
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
past, they were just doing their own thing. Apart from different other, they were even different from the other K-pop groups and companies. They were
Once they
themselves, and that's
release,
what we like
like they
about it. They
have
were
a lore.
authentic.
Like BTS has a lore. Like I understand that you want to like BTS it goes way back. Like their story is just so beautiful. The where they started from, not all the way back, but like
Run,
the most
yes, you
beautiful
can.
thing, like the most beautiful moment, like that where that album starts and like where like I love what is it called? It's called like love something. Love yourself, tear.
So,
It ends right there. 'Cause that's when like I think On came out. I didn't really like On. I just it just happened when they started to collab with American artists. That's when the downfall happened. I love America.
when they started being way more westernized.
I don't have a beef with America right now. Like, we have a love hate relationship. That's not why I'm bagging them. I'm bagging because like they're losing themselves. Like the music is not hitting from them trying to cross over. That's all I'm
Mm,
trying to say. That's my opinion. I've been saying that since 2020 though.
yeah,
Stan
but
Giatonu,
I guess they're not smooth
Stream
like butter.
Giatonu. I said Stan.
That's to me. But the whole
Shut
thing about
up.
don't let the armies
Shut up.
don't let the armies hear this. They're gonna attack me. They're gonna find out where I live. Dox me. Don't let the armies hear
Yeah, at least I don't get my face on here. Ooh, thank God.
that. That's what I was talking about. What next is on the agenda?
New jeans.
Oh my god, y'all.
You gonna talk
New,
about that debut?
new motherfucking jeans. Okay, so we're gonna get into this because it's a controversy, but it's also a lot of praise on this group. We're gonna start off with the praise. So New Jeans came out of nowhere, no teasers, no promotions, just dropped a video called Attention and back in like I think it was July 2022. So this is the summer. So they come out with this like Y2K sounding beat. It's refreshing because, in K-pop there's a lot of like techno rap, like hyper pop, regular pop. It's not like it was like you see New Jeans and then you hear New Jeans. I don't know. I wish I could play the song, but I don't want to get copyrighted or get you in trouble. But it's like a different, refreshing sound. A lot of people said that when they were reviewing the song. They got a lot of positive reviews and a lot of traction. A lot of people were digging their like toned down look because they all have like straight, long black hair. They have like minimal makeup, and a lot of people found that like refreshing because it's like K-pop has become like oversaturated in a way where like it's just like it's a lot of glitter and glam and stuff like that. But to see that stripped down and you still having like just having fun, the music is still good. That was a lot. They got a lot of good applause. But the negative side is that their producer and also CEO of Adore Labels, which they are under, what's her name? Min Hee Jin. I think that is her name. She has been accused of having pedophilic. That's trigger warning. I'm sorry.
No.
Pedophilic actions
Oh my
and
God.
suspicious behavior towards minors. That's why a lot of people are concerned. When they came out with this song called Cookie and the lyrics translated in English were a little, salacious and weird for minors to be singing because the group is majority minors.
I think that came up on my TikTok.
There's only two girls that are, of age, which is weird. So That's another debate in the K-pop community is debuting minors should be minors be able to debut because K-pop is such a demanding and forefront industry where people are sexualizing idols almost every day. So do you want to introduce like a minor to that, like a child? Like you have people debuting as young as like 13 these days. So it's just
Mm.
a lot of discourse between like should minors debut? Is that like safe for them?
I don't think it's really safe for any child star because it's just like you just keep hearing stories years later about like a producer or director of somebody that did something inappropriate with a young child star, and it just adds to their trauma. So
Yeah.
I would
Also, just
say
how
just
being a child
yeah,
star
because
affects
it's
their
like
mental.
when you're 13, you don't really have the stamina to do. You probably have school and you got to do the tour. That's a lot. So I do think like you have to be, maybe college age to really
Yeah.
become a pop idol.
But then there's
Because
this conversation of ageism in the K-pop community. Like once you hit like
Oh my
30,
god.
they don't want you around no more. Like they feel like you should get out the industry.
but like if you make it big in
Everybody was saying
America,
that for Jen.
because it's
He's
like,
like 27. He should lead a group.
but here's the thing, like we have stars from like the 90s that still do tours. You know what I mean? So like I mean if you can still sing and dance, you should be able to still perform and come out with records. Like but Beyonce is what, 40? How
Dang.
old is Beyonce?
She's 41.
So I
She's
think it's just
40.
about in terms of your longevity. If you are
I
talented
think it's
enough
also
and
the
you have a
culture
strong
because there's like
fan base, then you should be
yeah.
able to continue. I think,
Hmm.
especially if you made it big in other countries, then you should be able to still, um, perform in those countries, despite West. No
I
disrespect to
also
South
think
Korea,
it's
but
the culture of like South Korea and they're like obsessing with youth because there's like a lot of concepts where like a lot of QC concepts and no one wants to see a grown man doing egg yo. Like I just think that that people try to not like just make it more age appropriate. Like just match the age, the concept with the age in the group. If you're gonna
Grow up,
do that.
Korea. South Korea. South
So
Korea.
another girl
South
group that
Korea.
had debuted this year did not kind of got the opposite amount of attention. It was very negative off the bat. No one liked this song, and if you
Damn.
did, you got made fun for it. So now we're gonna talk about Nmix and their song "Oh Oh." Basha Bala Bala Balao, and I did not say a I did not just do a chant that is really a lyric from the chorus of the song. Um so this their concept is like pop mixed pop, so basically two songs in one, but it's like a totally different genre in each song. So it came out, we hated it, got a lot of hate for it. And everywhere like it was just really sad for the girls because they're a talented group of girls. They can sing, they can dance, and it really sucks because that the concept that JYP is giving them is the only thing that's holding them back. So they came back in I think September. That song got a little bit of hate too, but not as much. I kind of like it. I like their B-sides a lot more. I think they should. That's another story, but unfortunately, one of the members ended up leaving the group a couple of weeks ago. Her name was Jenny. She left due to personal reasons. A lot of people are saying because the group is just doing so poorly in the public's view that she just left the group and decided to leave. A lot of people saying it's because she got caught doing something she wasn't supposed to do. I don't know, but if I like trained for 6 years of my time and like
You
wasted
wouldn't just
six
leave
years of
like
my
that.
youth, wasted 6 years of my youth debut in a K-pop group, and we just got just hate all the time because of the song concept that I'd probably leave too. Big ups to her because that takes like a lot of courage to do. Because you train for so long and you just hope that and JYP is in the top three. It's a top three company. So you debut
Somehow.
out of this big company, you're gonna think you're gonna get all this fame, and then you just get all this hate. I believe too. But, shout out to Jenny. Hope you're doing bigger and better things. A lot of it's been a lot of K-pop scandals this year. And this scandal
A lot.
really showed the true colors of K-pop stands. So we're gonna talk about Le Sserafim, the new girl group under Hive labels, aka Big Hit, aka Source Music, aka Monopoly, aka. So apparently, one of the group's member of Le Sserafim was caught in a bullying scandal, which led to her being removed from the group. Her name was her name? It was Garam, Kim Garam. Sorry, girl. Um, so apparently, there's a bullying scandal. Someone from her old school has said that she was being violent and bullying the girls, and she was just being disrespectful and stuff like that. So people were like, "Oh, take her out the group. She is not. No, she's a bully. Take her out the group." So it's just this big mob. I hate Gurm. Get her out the group. We don't even know this girl. My taking fact, they debuted. They had this scandal had came out 2 weeks after they had debuted. So we don't even know this girl, and people
That's
were like picking.
wow.
People were like picking apart like little edits of like the videos. You know them back behind the scene videos that the K-pop video groups be having on YouTube. They were like picking
Yeah.
apart like her mannerisms. Like she's a bully. I see it in her Look at her way she's like looking at her. She's a bully. Well, it
So
Just
turns
wait,
out
because you were
wait,
one of
time
those
out.
mean girls in high school doesn't mean she is.
So wait, time out. So we're only going by hearsay. There is no definitive proof that this young lady
there's
was a
like a
bully in high
picture
school.
of her
Yes.
like standing next to a
Yes.
chalkboard with curse words on it, like a inappropriate drawing. Let's
What?
put the girl age out there. She is 16, so that's like look. It's really weird for me.
Damn.
She's very young, so it's just like see all these people ganging up on her. It was just weird for me. Well, it turns out,
This
girl,
reminds me
she
of that
is innocent. She
situation.
is innocent. She
Oh,
didn't do nothing.
That's insane.
This came out her like
I'm
the
not
board of committee of
surprised.
her school. They do that for the trial. It was a whole trial, girl. She got trial.
A
Terminated her.
trial?
They terminated
Bruh.
her contract at Hive, and they kicked her out the group before they even got her sentence.
I would have sued. I would have
I would
sued,
have
and
sued.
I would
Dang,
have
that's
sued one.
That's
She
defamation.
should. I don't. Yeah, because I'm just like I'm not sure what the laws are in South Korea, but she definitely should. If it's an official law over there, she should definitely sue for defamation. And I think the unlawful termin. I don't know the details of her contract, but she should have a lawyer look over her contract to see if there's any like wrongful termination of her contract, because if they're saying they let her go because she was allegedly a bully and it turned out that she wasn't, then I think she's entitled to have a new contract and some financial compensation. And you have to like really be
I mean, with the
Justice
K-pop
careful
world, I'm not surprised. They just
with
let
like
somebody
somebody
go
can't
just
doing
like
that,
that.
because I correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't like in the Asian community have like a high suicide rate?
Yeah, you're
Like
not
this
wrong.
stuff, I
Yes.
mean, like she could
Yes.
have harmed herself as a result of these accusations. This
We've
was
seen K-pop, like we have seen instances in the K-pop community where an idol has committed suicide due to comments or controversies that they have been in.
Like multiple times too.
like this is just, oh my God, my light keeps dropping. This is like very
Wasn't there was another artist that had a bullying scandal, but she still got kicked out
The
the
girl
group.
from Giotto.
And that's
like
did she act? But do we still know if she actually bullied that person? Because that person is
I think
now a
she's
child. She was a
innocent.
child actress. Because she's an actress, so people took her word for it because she's more famous, and so they kicked her out the group. Or they said she left.
but your power of fame shouldn't like weigh so heavy in terms of like you have facts or evidence. Like I could understand if there was like evidence like cyberbullying, like you would see a string of tweets or like exchange of text messages, something like that, some video, any of that. But for somebody to really play with this girl's life and career, like that is absolutely disgusting.
Mhm. Jealousy is a crazy thing, and I just feel like it just goes to show how like some people can be so vindictive, jealous. that they'll like ruin your whole life just because they see you like doing better for yourself. That's crazy.
So
And the
for
whole
this,
thing about it is that the
Absolutely.
girls were bullying her friend, and Garam has like stepped up and like tried to defend her friend, but all she did was like curse at them, and she was like, I guess I shouldn't have cursed, but I was just trying to protect my friend at the end of the
That's
day.
it. That's
Yeah,
it.
like
Oh
it's
my
and this is another thing.
god.
I feel like this is another thing, and I think this could go into a trend we need to stop in 2022. This is just like just thinking that I feel like we need to humanize idols slash celebrities because I just feel like certain things that they do are just normal things, and they get the most hate for it or like the worst reactions to it. Like someone was smoking a cigarette and they got like hate for it. I get that smoking cigarettes are bad, but I just feel like idols are held up to the standard of like perfect beings, like they have no flaws. And they
Didn't
perpetuate
Warhol
that
get kicked out?
because that's what like the industry is at the end of the day. But I just feel like they just need to be humanized.
Didn't
for
Warhol get
sure.
kicked out for like the smoking controversy?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Like
So with
that's the
this
smoking.
young lady, is she, back in music, or she has completely stepped out of the
No, she
spotlight?
is not. They like she stepped out of the spotlight, girl. We don't know where she is.
Lord. Okay.
She
Well,
probably need to
I hope
recuperate
that.
because that is traumatizing.
Yeah, well, I do think she probably needs a break from the spotlight, and then maybe give it a couple years. Then maybe if she wants to still pursue music and has the passion for it, she could, come back with a new name and a new look, and just do her best to put the past behind her, if that's possible for her. Or she may go a completely different profession where she doesn't have to deal with this type of nonsense.
Hmm.
But let's just
Mhm.
hope. All right, so that was, I believe that's everything for K-pop news. It seems like there's a lot going on, but we do have some exciting prospects for some upcoming girl groups, and hope to see that flourish. We say goodbye to BTS for right now, but it's only 2 years, and I don't think do South Korea, do they really be in wars? I don't think
Oh,
I
it's
never
not
seen.
like battle. It's
It's like
not battle. It's like
training.
training type shit. Yeah.
Training, stuff like
Okay,
that.
so like I think they'll be safe. They just gotta, serve their time in the military, and we'll see them in 2 years' time, or maybe three, because you said only one is currently in service now, and then everybody else is they're working on solo projects, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully, their solo projects will be better. Um, but before
I
we
mean,
close
them
out,
going solo, their solo works are real good.
have they come up with like singles yet, or they're just still in development?
Yeah,
Like I think
I
Hope,
know.
J Hope came out with one. RM came out with one.
RM
That's all I know for right now.
single
I
should have
think
been doing music by
Jungkook been
himself.
doing this, yeah, because he's like the most talented one. If I'm being honest, vocally
I said
wise, let me say
sugar.
that.
I said sugar.
Vocally wise, like no one wants like you're gonna hear someone singing in English more than you're gonna hear someone rapping in a Korean verse on an American thing. Just being honest with you, no shade,
I think Jimin
no.
and Tay went to modeling mostly.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do.
They pretty.
Man,
There's some pretty
they're
guys.
pretty
I can't
men.
gotta admit that.
They are. They do have a very distinct fashion style with K-pop groups.
Tay was literally the
I feel
number.
like
He
they
was the number
started the
one handsome person
whole
in the
like
world.
I feel like they started the whole feminine like pretty boy like K-pop like they made it popular. This is my opinion. Like dudes
K-pop
were
made it
not doing what
popular.
they were doing. I feel like they started off like that hard like hip hop ill appropriate shit like vibe, but then
The quick ew.
they went in like they went in touch with their emotions. They went into the therapy booth. I mean the studio. Like was they were writing, they were in touch with their feelings, and they just became soft boys. Like they became more relatable and more attractive to the female audience. Soft boys. Look it
Yeah.
up.
More interesting to the female gaze. Is that what they call it? I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we close out, I do want to acknowledge one more graphic designer, Sarah, who approached me in on Twitter. Um, I've seen some of her work. She is a very talented artist. The services that she provides, not just logos and banners, but she will actually design overlays, emotes, sub badges, alerts, panels, headers, intros, outros, and anything animated she can do. Please DM her at her Twitter, Sarah a underscore Era is ARIAA. And of course, you can email her under the same name, 834 at gmail.com. Again, I will have it available in the description for those that'll be listening. Um, but yeah, definitely support your local graphic designer. I felt bad. The reason why, like, I definitely put her on because, she was really reaching out, and I don't really need her service at the moment, but like her stuff looks dope. If once I get some things together, I may reach out to get a couple of things done. But her work looks absolutely amazing. If you are serious about streaming, this is a young artist that you could definitely reach out to. Um, yeah, this has been a great episode, and I think this year has been a pretty decent year for myself and the publication, just, getting off the ground. But before we close out, I think it's important to kind of, share our New Year's resolution, or at least some of the goals for 2023. Who would like to start off first?
Tiki, you go.
Don't volunteer me. That's all I was saying. I I don't have any New Year's resolutions because I never do them. I never stick to them. If I do stick to them, it's by accidentally. Um, but I'm gonna hope the next year, I continue to, my education and continue strong connections and bonds with the people I have here now. Love you guys.
Oh,
And hopefully make more money. So yeah.
that's always a good goal.
Mhm. Mhm.
Naya.
Okay, so my resolution goals, same here. I suck at sticking to them, but my main ones are improving my drawing skills so I can start working on doing commissions. Um, Trying my best to start up a budgeting plan so I can start saving up to try to get a new place and move out. And then the last two, try to exercise. I am so stuck on doing that, but I would try to exercise more. And lastly is also making that dough. Doing my best to make some money for me and my kitten.
Nice, nice. Always an animal lover. Um, my main resolution, or like my goal for 2023, is to further expand the publication Noir Vibes. Go with the Flow would just be a one of many programs under the publication. I want to encourage some of my friends and like former students to, once I get the funding. Two is to acquire funding for the publication so that I can hire people to do other shows under Noir Vibes and just be, a job creator. But also to create a platform for more Black and queer voices um, under Noir Vibes. Um, and as a personal goal is just to have a little bit more me time as an educator, mentor, especially in the realm of digital media. A lot of people will want to utilize my service, but it's not always. equally beneficial. So, in the words of Issa Rae, I want to have a me season in 2023 so that I can focus on my self care for the sake of my mental health and to devote as much time as needed to grow this product. I know the potential in terms of where Go with the Flow and Noir vibes and anything else that comes from it can go. But it's like I have to, I guess, just, I don't want to say I was like a people pleaser, but in a sense, like I was always, um, I guess, a person with the cape, always like helping people, but not really have enough time to help myself. And like one of the goals, like going into 2023, is to make sure that I give myself equal attention for the goals that I want and the things that I want to do. So fingers crossed. Well, not fingers crossed because it's like we can't always hope and wish for the best. It's like we have to take the necessary steps to make our goals happen. All right, and that's my closing message as we end the last episode of Go with the Flow for 2022. I enjoyed this experience so much, and there'll be more to come in 2023. So, to all my listeners, all my viewers, I want to wish you guys a happy and prosperous. Did I say that right? I think I did. Prosperous new year, and I will see y'all in January. All right. Any final words?
Um, her.
Her? It was so question. Per.
Don't forget
But
to
you
Stay
gotta
safe,
follow.
turn.
y'all. Y'all know how.
You are so clumsy with the closing.
I had a ball being on this podcast flow. I really appreciate what you're doing. It is really great, and I love the platform so much. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you guys for
Same
joining
here.
me. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all that are listening and watching, don't forget to follow me at Noir Vibes DC on all platforms. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the YouTube channel. If you missed the stream and you didn't get a chance to watch the stream within 6 days, don't worry. We will have it up for you. On, well, not we. I'm doing all the post production work, but it's fine. It will be available on YouTube. So please subscribe, follow, share, like, comment. I want to hear from you all so that, and hopefully we will increase our viewership so that you guys can join us in the conversation. I want to hear what you guys think and see where you guys are coming from. I will catch you guys in the new year. Bye.
Mm.
Don't
Bye.
forget, you can't go wrong when you go with the flow. Once we have to close out. There we go.